Hello, board gamers of the world. Welcome to one more video at the Curious Box. We are back with our interviews, and this time we have a name that you know for sure. For sure, someday in your life you have played one of his games, and we are talking about Roberto Fraga. He is the author of one of my favorite games, Captain Sonar, and so many other games that you will find when you look for his profile on Board Game Geek for sure. He is our guest today on our interviews. Check it out. It starts in a second. I want to ask you this first. How did you start connecting with board games in your life? How did this connection started?
When I was my parents, they have immigrated in France in '61. I was 1 year old. So I have started to design games when I had 14 years. But it was I'm very old finally. It was in '74. So in '74, there was not so much games on the market. Now, of course, there is an incredible quantity of games, but you have to imagine at this moment there was maybe in France, maybe 10 or 15 new games on the classics, Monopoly. I think the first modern game I have seen was Scotland Yard from Ravensburger. So at the beginning, I was just playing with my parents to typical card games, Spanish card games, as the Chinchon, which is a famous Spanish card game on very classic games. And I was very imaginative and also a little shy. I don't know why. And I was always reading books of science fiction books on Napoleonic Wars, because I was a great fan. So I have started to design. My first game design in '74 was a kind of Monopoly, which name was Cosmopoly, where you was buying planets, but if you cannot buy it because you have no money, you could fight to win it. So there was two options. So it was just many times when you start designing games, you start with an idea already existing and you change it, etc. But the idea at the moment was not to sell it to a publisher. I was totally out from the publishing world, which was very small at this time. After that, I have designed Napoleonic War games, which is difficult to understand now, because now I am designing more funny games on between a war game, a Napoleonic war game, and a dancing eggs. There is a lot of difference, of course, but it was the moment to do it. And I have designed a really complex war games on Napoleonic themes or science fictions, using the Pythagorean theorem, so incredible things. So, and after that, as I have worked a lot on boats, I was working on, when I was at house, I was designing games about the job I had at this moment. So when I was on the Navy, I have designed a game about battles during the Second World War, with the very big warships, Bismarck, Scharnhorst, etc. So the influences was the jobs I was doing at this moment. So I have started like that, doing war games, and after when I have met with my wife many years after, she has told to me, Roberto, you are designing games. I'm a great fan of games. But of course, when I have shown to her the very complex war games, it was not exactly. So I have decided to do easier and more funny games to play with her. And after the daughters, they have arrived and I have created more family and children games. So I have started like that.
Tell me a little bit about your career outside from the board games. What have you? I know you have done a lot of things, and you told me that
Yes.
you
Yes, yes.
lived lots of experiences of different things. I want to know a little bit about that.
Yes, yes, I have do a lot of things. I have started as a driver of a trucks, a delivery driver. So in Paris. After that, I was a draftsman doing maps of houses,
Yes.
etc. And I have worked also on constructions. What's the name in English? Obras in English was the name.
Over buildings, normal buildings. No, I mean, working on the construction. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the construction in the areas where they are where they are building houses.
Yes.
So there was a lot of cranes, the cranes, and the idea of fila filo is connected also with the cranes. All you do in your life,
Yes.
it helps you to create games. After that, I have worked during some months as a technician on a French railway company. And I have decided to pass. And I was a sailor on a French cruise ship in a Caribbean island, in the coast of Brazil, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea. And I was also a radio operator on the military boat on the French Navy, on an aircraft carrier, a very big boat, the bigger one with planes. So when I say radio operator, it reminds you maybe one of the functions the officers on Captain Sonar. So there is also a connection with this job. And after that, I was officer in the Merchant Navy on a cargo ship, fishing police officer, diver. I was also salesman selling fire extinguishers,
Yes. Yes.
which is totally different. And the last job was captain of a Coast Guard boat.
Okay.
And in December 2010, I have decided to stop. So all during these years, I was designing games. It was a hobby because you need money for your life, so you need a job.
Yeah.
And the hobby has increased and increased and increased and increased and increased. On the day where it was possible, because I was winning money selling games,
Yeah.
I have decided to left from the customs. It was in December 2010. I have stopped totally, immediately, the customs to create the Fraga Games company, to have only the hobby suddenly become a job, which was a dream. But I have waited 50 years to do it.
But you did it. But you did it
Yes.
eventually. So that's what's more important. When
Yeah.
did you publish your first board game, and which one was it?
So the first board game was published in 2000. His name was Dragon Delta. And it was published by Eurogames, which was a French company. They have do some war games like Crawl and Prumni, Okinawa, something like that. And they have decided to do a family range of games. And the first one was this one, Dragon Delta. And after the game has was sold by Asmodee. They have stopped it and we have signed it again with Matago. And now the name of the game is River Dragons.
Ah, I know it. Yes.
It's what is it's with Captain Sonar is one of my Fraga favorite games.
It's River Dragons. The first version is your first game published.
Yes, not the first design, but the first publish, because I have started to show games to the publishers to do it uh, in the way to sign contracts in six no in 92, so
Okay.
8 years before, and during 8 years I was every year at the Essen and Nuremberg fair to show each year 20, 30 prototypes. So on during 8 years, I have spent a lot of money with the travels, the samples. I think I have sent more than 1,000 samples all around the world, but I have signed nothing. In 92, I was already showing games with something to grab, speed games, and the publishers in Germany, they were saying to me, Roberto, you know, the speed games, they never will work. Okay, I'm sorry. See you next time. So it was very difficult, and I was very sad because I had a family, I have a job, I spent a lot of money to design, to make the prototype, to send it, to travel, and no results. But in the other way, I have participated to a lot of game design competitions in France, and I have won a lot of prize, which was money at this time. Mm-hmm. So it was okay, but it was very strange. On one side, you have a lot of awards on game design competitions, but on the other side, the game publishers, they don't want your games. So it was a very strange time. I had the idea just before the sign the contract to Dragon Delta to stop to design games because it was a very big financial cost. So, but finally, at the right moment, I have signed it, and it was the beginning of a new story. So it's the reason why when you are a game designer, you need to be very, very, very persistent.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. You need to try. Generally people say you can have 1,000 no's, but you only need one yes.
Yes, sure. I have thousands of copies of letters from editors with negative answers. I could made a giant exposition with all the stupid reasons they write. I know all the formulas, you know, etc. It's not good for our collection. It's not the right thing. So
you should write a book about it. It could help a lot of people.
Yes, I don't know, because finally each game has its own story and funny stories. Is each game design as a story I will tell to you after.
But you were saying that publishers were telling you that speed games, they didn't work and they will never work. What and now speed games are everywhere and they work and they sell. What from those times when you started 92 until now, what are the biggest differences that you find in the industry?
So finally, the quantity of game consumers, it's very most important, and I think it's very connected with the arrival of the web, because I have seen from a lot of years. For example, I was showing games to a publisher in Spain, which name is Disset.
Yes, I know it. Yeah.
And in 96, they was telling to me, but Roberto, I'm sorry, in Spain, the people doesn't play, they go to the beach, and that's all. And they was only publishing very basic children games for the big market, but not family games. Mm-hmm. And now, actually, what's the result? And I have seen the difference. I have seen because with the arrival of the web, all the people which was liking to play, but they never know, maybe very close to them there was another people, friends, which was liking the same type of games. So they have connected with the web. They have decided to maybe to create an association to organize after a small convention. And after one guy said, but maybe I could have a shop to distribute games. And after some years after, but maybe I could publish my own games. And now in Spain, and a lot of countries, as in Eastern Europe also, there are publishers, a lot of game designers, a lot of conventions, something which was totally incredible and impossible to imagine when in 2000. So I think the web has helped a lot to develop the games. And now there is a new generation of players. The parents now, they was maybe playing to video games when they was young, and now they with all what's happening now, there is a kind of more important cocooning. The people they like very much than before to have these moments, to share the good moments with friends and family. And the games, it's very good for that. The games are very good for that. And finally, during these times where you need to be at house, I have discussed with some publishers and distributors, and the games are the sales are very good, better than before. There is a new consumers with the crisis, with the COVID crisis. There is a positive thing. A lot of new consumers they arrive because they are at house. Okay, they have played to the Monopoly again, but now we want to discover something new. So I think the web on the crisis, not only the COVID crisis, but all the moments when you have for example, terrorism, not so much security. That's
people want to come together.
Yes.
Yes, and also probably because, and this is like, this might not be true. I'm not sure. This is just an idea that I have, that probably we are living in a digital world now, and a very fast, quick technological world, and it seems that people want to escape from that because they live it already during the day when they are working, when they are connecting with their friends, and at some point people, they need something that can with which they can relate closely, and board games, I think they help a lot on that. Also, they bring a lot of new experiences, and different ones than video games.
Yes, but the important difference is now we have an incredible quantity of games of choice, so than before. So the people, they have a lot of opportunities to discover new things, games which correspond to them. Before, in '96, there was only it was very difficult to find. Now you have an incredible quantity of really good games. So you have a great choice. So it's
yes, I think it's a world market. We can buy games everywhere.
Yes.
We don't have to wait for them to come to Portugal or to France. We just go to Amazon or to some other store online and buy them. Yes, the access to games is.
Yes, on the game is it's a really perfect communication tool, you know.
Yes.
And I have an example I always explain to journalists, because I was some years before on a game festival close to Paris, and I had on the table Dr. Eureka. It's a game with tubes and balls.
I know it.
And I go some minutes to the toilets, and when I come back, all around the table there was they had two families which was looking the game, but and there was a family which was from Croatia, and they was in France from maybe 6 years, and the other family was from Syria. They have just arrived 6 months before. Of course, they don't have connections together. They was a little afraid, etc. So I have explained the game to them because it's very easy in some seconds. They have played all together, and in 2 minutes there was laughing all together. It was not necessary to explain what's your name, what's your job, from where you are, and at the end of the game, I have told to them. But what do you want to know? Do you want to do a game, everyone on your side, or all together? What was the answer?
Altogether.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it was incredible. It's you play the game. It doesn't matter the job, the country where you are coming from. It's an incredible tool for communicate,
Yes.
and I like that.
One thing that happens a lot sometimes when we are explaining games, and sometimes in conventions or in other places, we are explaining games to kids. I mean, the parents bring their kids, and they think board game conventions. Some of them they think games are for kids. So people stop there just because they are passing by, and they stop and they start playing. And we always invite the parents to play with their kids and with each other. And some of them they are like, no, 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 we're just watching the game, seeing the kids playing. 3 minutes later, they are playing. They are playing also.
Yes,
It's
yes, yes, yes.
it's
Or at the
amazing.
beginnings, are explaining to their children how they have to play. They give advice. They don't want to play, but say, no, you have to do that, you have to do that. And after they play. Yes, it's the
Yeah,
same
but we
thing
don't
here.
we don't let them do that. We
Yeah.
if the parents start giving advice or saying, maybe you should move that piece to that place, we say no. You if you
Yes.
want to play, you sit and you play. You don't help anyone. The kids they don't need much help. They will learn naturally. They are very quick learners. So if you want to play, come on, join us, sit,
Mm.
and don't be afraid or don't be shy. Just just sit and play.
But
And
the world of games is changing very fast because now in France, well, before all the COVID crisis, there was every weekend, every week, you could go to a game festival on Saturday and Sunday, every week. If you have a car and you want to travel in France, you can stop every Saturday to a game festival. It's incredible. And now I have seen things which were very impossible 20 years before. The people they sit, they take the rules and they read it. They
yeah,
are not waiting for the. It was impossible before. Before they are waiting for the. If they see there are no guy to explain because it's occupied, something like that, they take it and they read it. So the world of games change it, and it's
I
very well.
think on that point you are way ahead of Portuguese people because I mean I read rules, but generally people wait for someone to explain here. They,
Yes.
they I mean our habits of playing games, our market is still small. It's
Mm.
growing like as in the rest of the world, but it's still a small market. And I think we will come to that point when people get the book and they just read it. But in general,
Mm.
I don't think it happens here.
No, but it's easy to say that for me because I have a lot of games where the rules are are very short. So of course, it is the rules of Captain Sonar. I'm not sure they will take it and read all the rules.
How many games have you designed? Have you designed and published? Because I saw there are
So
many on Board Game Geek.
I have designed and published actually 130 games.
130 games.
Yes, but I have designed more which are in the garage and which will be never published, of course, because the people they have to imagine one game design. It's not equal to one game published. Maybe you will design 10 or 15 and you will publish one.
Yes, of course.
So because I like to explore a lot of ways. When I start something, I'm not thinking immediately to do something to publish. I do it because I want to do it, because I have a kind of feeling it will be fun to do the sample, to see the result. But maybe after that, finally that doesn't work, or it will be too expensive. But it's just an idea you will place here. Maybe you will use it after for another thing. It's a kind of it's elements. So you are a collection of game ideas. Of you can divide it, take one here. So the most difficult is to connect the idea number 165 to this one. So
I see you post some pictures on Facebook every now and we can see your office, and you work in several different tables, like, right? Or
one, two, three.
more than one. At least you have more than one space to work. And the feeling that I get every time I look at it, it's like that on that space, you can work on one idea here and work on another idea there, and maybe another one there, and then you mix them to see if they work. And is that the way you work, trying things and then trying to find the right place for them?
Yes, I am always, as I have said to you before, I want to explore ways. For example, many times I start from an object, from an element. For example, for this one is a prototype. It's a game which has the idea of start buying on the web these elements which are it's a toy for children. You can connect it like that and you can make figures. So I have both some boxes on the web, and I had the idea of this one, which is a game where you have to create a giant root
Yes.
with your color, but they don't have to touch the other ones, and they don't have to be outside the limits. But so it's a kind of 3D visualization game, and you have more and more. You have 5 at the end. You don't have to pass the top, and the player will be the higher one will have extra points. So each time you touch adversaries' roots, or you are outside, you give points to the other ones.
Okay.
But yes, it works very well.
Do you have a time limit for that?
No.
Okay.
What you do, it's the player just before you give to you, choose one of your routes. Roberto, you have to play this one. So now I have to prepare it, but not here, outside. I have to look at it. Yes, if not, it's too easy. And you do your shape, and after you have to connect it, and you place it like that, booms. And after you look, if you touch, or if you are outside. Here, I am outside. I have to give 1 penalty point to all the other players. And I touch my own route, I have to give another penalty. So when you show the game to teachers, immediately they said, "Oh, it's very good for the visualization in space, etc., etc., etc." So, but one thing is to have an idea with very original material, and the game works very well. But after that, I am happy, okay? But after that, you have to show it to a publisher. And when the publisher see all the material, all the equipment, is maybe afraid. But finally we have signed the game with a Korean company, which name is Korea Board Games.
Yes, I know it. Yes.
But they have started to work on it, and at the beginning of the COVID, they have stopped it. So at the moment, nothing is. So this is it's just an idea about from where come the idea, the ideas. And I have also I have another example which is very important. It's about the game Dr. Panic.
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Panic is a cooperative game for children where you are on young people, where you have to save, to operate a patient on the operating block, etc., with a lot of actions, with an app also. And the idea, in December 2007, I was captain on a Coast Guard boat, and we have received a message to we have to sail at the north of Saint-Malo to catch a boat full of drugs.
Okay.
So yes, but the weather is very bad. The sea is very rough. So all the elements are negative. So when we at night, when we arrive very close to the what's the name of the smuggler boat?
Yes.
With drugs, I jump from one boat to another one, and I have broken my leg. So they sent to me to the hospital. And when I arrived in the operating, it was a very, very negative moment. You have to imagine.
Yes.
I have broken my 2 bones on the leg. My foot was like that at 45 degrees. So it was very negative. And I was really disappointed about the operation with the boat with drugs. So when the anesthetist just arrived to sleep me for the operation, I just got the idea of a game on the operating block. I have asked to the anesthetist to give to me a paper and a pen to write the idea. So he has given it to me. I have write the idea, and after he has slept me, I was up in the operating block. And when I was awakened on the bedroom, on the table, there was the paper and the pen with the idea, and I have started to work during I was at the hospital, and the game was published with the name of Dr. Panic. So the ideas are everywhere. So all as we were saying before, all the jobs, all the meetings you had, the travels you have done, all the experiences, bad or positive or negative, I am always trying to change negative things in positive, because my philosophy is to try to see always all positive. If not, you can spend all your life with all the problems. You could be negative every day, so and spend your energy in too many negative things. The most important is to keep the energy for the right things and to use at the right moments. So it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. It's a very positive way of seeing things and of living life. Uh, when you're, I mean, now you are very experienced publishing games. I mean, selling games to publishers, because you have tried it for many years and you have done it for many years and you have many games published. So what are one or two advices that you can give to a new designer? And for sure there are some watching this video. Um, an advice that you can give a new designer while trying to sell a game to a publisher.
So actually, there are too many publishers, and they are very. It's not so difficult to contact a publisher and to show it by the web. But if you send an email or by the contact on the website, you need to do something really attractive with a very great presentation. Maybe something at the beginning. If the rules are very long, maybe it's necessary to do a kind of first a sheet of paper with a small presentation, and you need to convince the guy, the publisher, in 10 seconds, because he has too many things. So maybe he will pass. If you just send to him, okay, I had an idea, you send the rules, maybe he will just pass like that in 5 seconds. So you need at first to send something more attractive, as if you was salesman. You need to attract the people because there are maybe hundreds of propositions every day. So, of course, if you have the opportunity to go to a fair to show to the game to the publishers, it's different because now he can see and he can test the game indirectly. But it's not so easy for a lot of people which are very far. They cannot travel. It's a lot of money. But and there is something also. The publishers sometimes they say to you something, but they are not. They don't have always the. They don't take always the right decision. Maybe they made also mistakes. They will pass on a very good idea. So you know Dixit, the game.
Yes, of course.
So Dixit, the author of Dixit, before to sign with Libellude, he has shown the game to a lot of publishers, to Asmodee, to Ravensburger, and they have all say no. And now you see the result. So if you have bad answers, it's not a reason to stop. You have to continue and continue. It's like when you have, if you think your game is good and the players they like it, it's not difficult to produce. You need to continue every time. Maybe because it's also a question of to be at the right moment with the right person. Maybe this type of game is not the right one for this year, but maybe the next year it will be okay. In 2004, we have signed a game with Tops, with Ravensburgers. It was a kind with a game we are throwing tops and you have to place plastic discs. I have showed the game 3 years before. They have said no. The year after, no. And the third time, yes. It was exactly the same one. No? So
But it was the same the same publisher?
yes, it was the same.
The same person?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, but he remembered it, but the conditions was different, the situation they was looking for at this moment for this kind of game, etc., etc. So it's a reason you have always to continue. And the other thing is when you sign the contract with the publisher many times they will try to give to you ideas to develop the game. There are a lot of publishers, they think they could be designers. But sometimes they have good ideas, but sometimes no. So you have to keep in mind you are the designer of the game. You have to keep the control of the publication. If you say you can do what you want, maybe you will have a surprise. So you have to discuss with the publisher, and you have, of course, to listen what they say about the material. Is it necessary to have this element? But I have some of games, Minds, which was very good, and the publisher has decided to suppress some elements without telling it to me. And after the game doesn't work, but they have published it. So you are the designer. You need to keep the control of your game. It's logical, I think.
Yeah, I think, yes. Tell me, during the times when you have interviews with publishers, for sure there were more than one story that you always remember. Sometimes as a good advice for what to do in the future, sometimes just in a funny way because you think, okay, maybe I wasn't expecting this. Can you tell me one or two also?
Yes, there is a game we have signed with Haba, which name was Trotofont. Trotofont is a game using, I don't know the name in English, some things you blow and that, it's a party whistle, as a chameleon tongue. So it's a game. Wait a minute. Oh, it's here. It's this one.
Oh, I know this. I heard a few weeks ago they were talking about it on the Dice Tower.
Yes. So, of course, as you can see, it's a typically German design. As you know, now in Europe, in France, on Spain, in Portugal, we have very nice illustrators, and there are fantastic things. Which is, but it was in 2004, and the design was not so perfect. So, but you have to imagine this game. It's a rotating. There is a rotating trunk. It's not an electrical engine. It's a kind of string. You do it, and that turns slowly. And you have palm trees where you have to place the trunks. But all the structure is turning slowly. And you are elephants, and with the party whistles, you have to connect the trunks like that, and all around the trunk, and the trunk come back. And sometimes you have some mouse on the trunks, but you cannot see it. You see the mouse when you have take it, the trunk, and the trunk is coming back to you. If you have a mouse, you have to send it to the plate of the adversary, because it's a negative point, etc. If there is no mouse, you have to put it in your plate. But okay, but I got the idea drinking a glass on the table on my office, and I have always a lot of very strange things on the table. On this day, there was 2 glasses. I was with a friend on a party whistle on a kind of small cardboard piece. And I don't know why. I have taken the cardboard piece, I have placed it on the top of the 2 glasses, and I have taken the party whistle, I do that, and suddenly I have seen the effect of the trunk which was catched by the party whistle, and I got the idea. I have to do a game with chameleons, which are taking. So, and I have made a sample. The name was the Crazy Tongues, but I have added off chameleons. But sometimes, if you just write on the box Crazy Tongues, it could be. Some people could think it's another type of game. So, but when you design a game like that, it's with a kind of engine. It's not a game for ABBA. It's a game for a big company, Ravensburger, Mattel, as Mattel or Hasbro, as Looping Louis. So I have shown it to Mattel, Hasbro, no result. And when I go to the fairs, when I show games to the publishers, I am always showing the games in starting by the first ones. For me, they have not so much chances to have interest for them, and I finish always by the better one. And at the end, sometimes I show a kind of concept car, something incredible, which is impossible to publish, but with a crazy idea. It's just in the way to convince the editor to always keep in touch with me, because they will say, oh, Roberto has incredible ideas. We need to keep in touch because, okay, this thing is too difficult to produce, but it's very original. They need to remind you.
Yes.
So we was at the meeting with ABBA at Nuremberg, and at the end of the show, at Nuremberg is a professional fair. It's not open to the public. So there are a lot of people, but there are buyers, distributors. And we was playing the first time with the guy from ABBA. But I have showed the game, it was just for the fun, just to loaf with him. No, absolutely no idea to sign with them. And we play a second time. And at the end of the second game, there was 30 people, which was buyers and distributors all around the table, and they were all doing that. So the guy of ABBA look at it, and he told to me, Roberto, wait a minute, I will speak with my boss. And I was totally, what's happened? What's happened? It's incredible. So, and the guy come back 5 minutes after, and he told to me, Roberto, we will do it. And I said to him, what? The game. it was something impossible to imagine, and they have do it. they have sold it during 2 or 3 years, but as it was in cardboard, because they don't do plastic, there are some parts which are not so perfect, and they have stopped it. But the game is incredible. It's a kind of crazy game like Looping Louis. It needs to be in plastic to be done by a big company. And actually, during this year, it's difficult to sell games with a party whistle where you have to blow on something with all the microbes. So we will see. But I will show again and again. The games, they can have several lives. Sometimes the publisher will stop your game, but you can. It's also an idea for other game designers. They can stop it, but you can show it again to other publishers. Maybe another one will give it to the game a new life, a new second life, which will be better than the first one, with a new design, a new presentation. There is a game which is published by Gigamic, which is the speed game with the ghost.
The Ghost Blitz.
Yes, this game was a ABBA game. I think it's a game from They Met. Yes, and it was a ABBA game. With ABBA, it was catastrophic sales. So he has decided, they have stopped it. The author has recovered the rights, and he has signed a game again with Zor, which is a German company. And Gigamic is the distributor of Zor in France. And now it's an incredible success, more than 1 million. So you see the difference between the first edition and the second one?
Yes, of course. It's amazing.
Mm.
You create lots of games for kids. Why? Is there an audience that you feel more comfortable with, or you feel more connected, or you understand them better, or they are more open to different experiences?
No, finally, when I design a game, I'm not thinking if it will be for kids or not. I just design a game because I want to do it. And after I have to put it, I have to say, okay, maybe it could be better for kids. It's not, I'm not starting, a lot of people, they think the designers, they are sitting, okay, today I will design a game for kids with penguins. Okay, I will start. Not at all. Not at all. It's a flash with an object, and it's suddenly you have an idea, you have something incredible. It's not I'm not a mathematician of the game design. I'm more a materialist, which use objects, which need influences for a lot of things. And I never know if my game is good or not, because I'm never finally satisfied. I don't know when it's the end or not. It's when I show the game to the players, they tell to me, oh, wow, fantastic. So now I know it's fantastic. When I have designed Fila Filo, the game with spiders, we have won the Kinderspiel.
Yes,
when the game was finished, I have told to Florence, to my wife, but I don't know if it's perfect like that. So, and finally, it was perfect because it's difficult for me to know when I have arrived at the end of a game, or if it's okay. I'm always trying to add something, or it's when I show it to the publisher, I see, okay, it was. But I think it's important to be like that, because you are always looking for more. I don't like the idea to be a fantastic game designer and to be on the top, because finally, when you are on the top, you don't need to do more. I prefer to be at the beginning of the stairs and always doing that, because my idea is not to be the best game designer of the world. I just want to design games and to win money with that and to travel, and that's all.
Live a simple life.
Yes,
Yeah, but yes, eventually when you reach the top, you probably stop being creative because you reach the
yes,
top and there's nothing above the top. I understand
yes.
that.
I am always saying every day, if today you are not able to have a new idea, you are not a game designer. And it's very difficult for my wife because when we are maybe an example, we are traveling, we are on the beach in one Iceland, so all is perfect, the sun, etc. And Florence, my wife, she's looking at my face, and I have a sad face, and she asked to me, "But what's happened, Roberto? You are not happy? We are very in a nice place, all is perfect." And I tell to her, I have no idea. I don't have an idea of games from three days. So I need to have ideas because
Yes, something going on.
it's
Yes.
if you are always creative, it's you are living. You know, you are a game designer every day. If tomorrow I have no idea, it will be a very bad day.
What is from all the games that you've made, published or not, your favorite game?
So the favorite there is the first one
River
because
Saga.
it's the first one and because it's always it's one of my games I like to play again and again. And we have the giant version, so which is 1.1 meter point two by so
Yeah.
it's incredible when you play on. And I like when we show the giant version on the festivals. I like to see the face of the people playing and having fun. This is the energy we need when you are a game designer. You know, to see the people they are happy with the things you have designed in you. It was nothing at the beginning. You have designed something, and now a lot of people they are happy. So it's something incredible. Just an idea. And the second one is Captain Sonar, because as we was discussing before, it's we have incredible souvenir of fights in every with we are two designers for Captain Sonar. I have do it with a friend which name is Johan Lemonnier.
Okay.
I'm not so it's not so common for me to work with other game designers because I need a very good feeling and I need to. It's difficult when you have ideas very strange to find the right person with the same way thinking, the
Yes, of
same.
course.
So and with Johan it was perfect. And 2 years before we was invited at Rio de Janeiro by the distributor of Captain Sonar in Brazil, which name is Conclave.
Ah, yes, I
And
know it. Mhm.
the objective was to play during the festival. So there was Johan and his wife, me and my wife. So we was four. It was the Caipirinha team. And in front, there was the better teams from Brazil. And their objective was to fight us to win a box. Of course, we have won every time, but it was incredible to see the face of the people when you are when you are playing to Captain Sonar. There are a lot of situations. At the beginning, it's very quiet, and suddenly I like to place mines in a lot of parts and to activate them at the right moment. I like the moment when the enemy is very close and suddenly the tension is increasing because all your systems are not okay and you need to repair and you ask to the engine officer, but what do you have to do? You need to go 2 times at the north. No, I cannot. So the tension is increasing and I like really much this moment because you need to be quiet. And many times when we explain the game to the people, I said to the people, the captain needs to be a guy very organized, very quiet, which is able to listen a lot of informations. And many times there is one we say, okay, I say I'm very good, but after some minutes you immediately see it was not the right guy for that.
How did the idea came up for Captain Sonar?
So for Captain Sonar, I got the idea to do a kind of battleship game, but while you are living a great experience. But at the beginning, it was just a map with an erasable pen, drawing lines, north, east, etc. And after that, I have added the other officers. And the detector, there are two moments very important in Captain Sonar, because finally the captain sheet of paper, or the function of the captain is not so complicated. It's just to draw the line, to listen the other ones, etc. But the second officer is also easy, just to charge the gauge for the energy, following the orders of the captain, etc. It's something you can do from 7 years. In the box, it's written from 14, but finally, in a group, when you have a guy or who don't know what, he don't like too much to play, we give him the second officer function, because it's too easy. But the two moments very important are the detector and the engine officer. And for the detector, the idea came directly from when I was radio operator in the Navy, in the military Navy, because it was in 2001, so many years before. I was on a very big ship, an aircraft carrier. On the bridge, which is the command center, there was, when we was playing to the electronical war, with a very big group of boats from the NATO fighting from. It was the Cold War at this time. So at this moment, when we was playing to the electronical war, on the bridge there was 16 people shouting orders. So there is something which reminds Captain Sonar. And at this time, the radars was not as now. Now we have radars as computers in colors. It was the black screen with the beep,
Yes.
beep, with the points at the center. There was the point of your boat, and all around the boats which was all around you. And sometimes the officer was asking to me, Roberto, could you calculate the relative road? Is the name relative road from between this vessel and this one? And we was using a transparent and a pen to draw a system of vectors on sliding. So it's quite similar to the so the idea of the detector directly comes from that. So, and when I have adapted this idea to the game, suddenly I was feeling we was on the right way. It was the beginning of something. And I have at this moment I have met with Johan during a game festival, which was working on a game in the same area with commandos in the house, and we are now friends, and we have decided to work together. And after the second officer, what was easy, but what was difficult was to create the system for the engine officer. You have to imagine we had developed maybe 10 different versions of this one. And we have made one with cards and dice. And you have to throw the dice to have the right colors to repair. But immediately the feeling was each player needs to have the same equipment, an erasable paper and an erasable pen. And the most important is to have communication between the players.
Okay.
So, and the great idea was for the engine officer was, I don't know if you remember it, was the connections between the systems. And you need, when you go to north, you cross something on the north, and after maybe you cannot use torpedoes. But when you cross all the 4 systems which are connected by a line, there is an auto reparation. But for that, you need to ask to the captain for directions. Captain, I need to go one time to the north and one to the east. Is it possible to repair? No. So there is a communication. And I remember when I was on the boats, on the military navy, on the cruise ship, on the cargo ships, there was always a kind of what's the name? Rivalry? No, of bad connection between the captain and the engine officer, because the captain, his idea was to increase the speed because to arrive faster, and the engine officer was looking to manage his engine. So there was always discussions. So all these elements, they have help a lot to create Captain Sonar. But it was a great experience, and we have great souvenirs for that.
How long?
And I have about Captain Sonar, I have a scoop, if you want.
Yes.
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 We will. The publisher will do a new version with a new illustrations.
Really? The same.
Yes.
The same publisher, Matago.
Yeah. And because the conclusion was, I don't know if it's your opinion, but the conclusion of the consumers was that when you look at the box, you have not immediately the idea you are in a submarine.
Okay, let's show the box to our people, to our viewers, and get them the. I mean, I got the idea that we were in a submarine, also because the name helps, and also the symbol here.
Yeah.
It looks like
yes.
a bit like a radar, also.
Yes, but as you can see, there is a great window,
Yeah.
and where you can see outside. And in a submarine, it's impossible to have that.
Yeah,
Maybe on starships. But well, it's the reason. One of the reasons we will change. But we have an illustrator, and he's doing something incredible. It will be fantastic. But the second thing is, we got the idea 2 years before to add a fifth crew member.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Between
So make it
the
for 10
captain.
people.
Yes.
Okay.
Between the captain and the second officer.
Okay.
And this crew member will be the,
the helmer, yeah, the guy who drives.
Yes. Yes. But he will use an app, the smartphone.
Oh.
In the smartphone, you have a gyroscope, so he could have the directions. Head north. Okay, north. And maybe we could have some effects, some energy points which arrive, which are some volumes of special water with energy. Maybe on the screen we could have torpedoes +1 or -1. So the helmsman could say to the captain, if you go at the east, we could have more energy for the torpedoes. So he will discuss, he will increase the communication. Maybe the captain will say, no, okay, captain, if we go to the east, there is -1 for the mine, so it's not so good. I'm sorry, but we have to go to the east. Okay, east, and something like that. And for example, we will see if you are very good in navigation. If you are, for example, at the north, and the captain, you are the helmsman, and the captain asks you to go at west. You have to do it at right or at left.
So but using the app.
Yes, as if you are driving a boat.
Yes.
You are at the north. The captain asks to you west.
So you need to move the phone.
In which direction? At right or at left?
To the east. To the east, you move to to the right. No.
You don't have time. The enemy is very close. No. Okay. You can, if you are the north, if you go to go at the west, if you do that like that at right, you will have to do 270 degrees. So it will
Yes.
take more time.
Yes, yes, of
If you
course.
go at left, only 90 degrees. So if you made a mistake, you go on the opposite side, you will lose time, or maybe during this time the enemy will arrive and send
It
you a
brings
torpedo.
it brings a new level of difficulty to the game.
Yes, but well, at the moment, just they are just looking for how to develop the app. But I think it could be really nice.
But it's this new player mode. It will come on the next version of the next print of the game
I
with the
don't know
with the
because
new art or.
I don't know at the moment because they are in discussion with Asmodee, which will be the new distributor for this version. And if they do it, it will be for free, of course.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. There are some informations I don't have.
It's
But
funny that.
I am very impatient to to use it because I'm sure it will be incredible.
It's funny that you talk about this new version of the game, because I mean it's a game from what year? It's a game from 2016,
Yes.
and so it's a 4 or 5 year old game, and I played it and I loved it, but I took a long time to buy it, and I just bought it like a month and a half ago, and now you tell me that there will be a new version of the game, which is which is really
Now,
nice.
it will be for the next for the end of the year, I think, or maybe next year.
Okay, so I can wait. I can't wait actually for the.
But we have also made a family version of Captain Sonar,
Yes,
which
Sonar
name
Family.
is Sonar Family.
Yeah.
It's for 2, 3, 4 players.
Yes,
It's
I know.
more. It's not the same thing. It's more a game for more family and children. Of course, the better version is playing simultaneously with 8 players.
Mhm. Yes, that's the way I experienced it, and I totally agree with you. Okay, now we are approaching the end, but I still want to know, before we talk a little bit about the future, how are you dealing with this period of pandemic, staying at home? How hard it is to not be playing, at least not be playing with other people, and not testing in person. And are you creating more because of the pandemic? How is it working for you?
Finally, at the beginning of in March, at the beginning, I was thinking because I need to create, I need to try to move, to see people, to travel. A lot of people, they have asked to me at the beginning of the pandemic, okay, now you have a very new office, which name is the Fraga Lab. You will have the perfect space to create. Now there is the pandemic, you have to stay at home, so you will have an incredible quantity of ideas, but finally not, because the ideas, they come when you are looking things, traveling. So even if you have the best game designer office and alone on it, it's not so perfect to design games for me. But finally, I was quite surprised to in September I have started to create really new things on original things. So finally, all is possible, and we have signed some contracts during the pandemic also, and I have used also the time to be to have an operation in January. I had an operation for the hip, so now, but of course, for me, the most important is to travel and to see people, and to to have a very nice moments with people playing and discussing of games, which is the objective finally of the game. See, if I cannot do that, so. But as I have told to you, I am so positive, and I'm always looking for a lot of things, and I am also using the time to organize, because designing games is half part of my activity. The other part, I am a member of an association which name is the Corsair Ludique in Saint-Malo, and we have games. We organize a presentation of games on the city. Well, actually, we cannot do it, but we also organize crazy events as a game festival in May. So no, this year no, and every year from 20 years, we organize a crazy event, which name is the Corsair Ludique Gathering, where during, but the problem is something which is totally different, and it's very difficult to explain, because the people, when you explain something, they always want to put it on squares. Okay, it's a game festival. No. It's a game convention. No. It's a game, it's a gathering with friends. No. So we have, this, the people, they always want to create categories.
Yes,
Not
yes. It's easier for them to
put the
memorize
things
also.
categories. Yeah, and I want to create new categories. On the event we organize in August, it's a new category. During 7 days, we meet with 200 people from all around the world, which are players or not, but always friendly people, young, old, as you want. Some publishers come, some game designers. The objective is not to organize a giant meeting with game publishers. The objective is to create something as if you was in another planet, totally disconnected from the world. And each year there is a theme. The last time, in August 19, we was in the east of France. We have rent a castle, and we have organized. The theme was a Tibetan monastery, and all the organizers, we was in orange with totally, with but what with all the ambience here. I have the gong in my office, which is here, and the music. We organize. It's incredible to describe. The year before, we was in Spain, in Aragon. We have rent a village very close to a lake. All the village for us. The theme was Bollywood. 200 people dressed as Bollywood, dancing, playing, doing kayak on the river, a rally on all the region. It was totally incredible. And when the people, they arrive, they are crying because they are so emotional. And when they leave, they are also crying. It's something impossible to describe. And of course, the last year we was obliged to cancel it. The theme was Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
And we hope we could do it in August. We will see. But as you know, in Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit is always too late. So
yes. So it could fit the theme.
Yes. On the last thing we organize, as I have said to you before, we are in Saint-Malo, is a very old city with very old walls, a kind of pirate city with very old boats. And we will organize the second Pirates Fest at the end of June. The first time we was 290 organizers, all dressed as pirates, and we had 3,000 people. And we want to increase every year, incredible, which will be in 3 years, will be 3 days with big boats, with a big show on the harbor with boats which are fighting. I like to organize crazy things. So
yeah, because they also bring you a different experience, and
exactly.
not only to you, but to the people who come.
Yeah. Yes, and all is connected. The game design, the organization of events, because you can have ideas from one side to another one. do you know a game which name is the libeled game where you have to draw on a transparent and you place it?
Yes, I know it's Looney Quest.
Perfectly, 1 point. Muy bien. Looney Quest. So just an example, and after I will stop because if not, it will be too long. So some years before, we have rent a school in August in the south of France because the school has a futuristic shape. The school has a starship. And the theme of this year was Star Trek, Galactica, Star Wars. All the players, they was dressing as Star Trek with the red, the yellow, the blue. It was a totally organization. We have a radio system on all the school which giving orders, be careful, the captain is arriving, etc. And the idea was to have the people that was divided in teams because they have to win points during the week. And we got the idea to have you seen Galactica?
I know the series, but I haven't seen it.
Doesn't matter. In Galactica, they have some big vessels and some very speed starships, interceptors, which names are I don't remember the name. Interceptors. So we got the idea to create 5 interceptors, which was cardboards printed with the shape of the interceptors and in color. There was 2 meters by 2 meters with a hole at the center for the player. You put it and you take it like that.
Yeah.
And when there was a kind of alert, if your team if it was the moment of your team, and the 5 pilots of your team, they have to take the cardboards and to go to the handball field, which was very close to the school, but to do something, some figures. But we got the fantastic idea from Looney Quest to, when they arrive, the 5 pilots, they arrive close to the handball field, we show to them a map of the handball field with 5 red points and 5 green points. The first pilot has to memorize and to do a way to pass on the green, but the point that was not on the field, there was only on the map. They have to pass on the green and avoid to pass on the red because it was minus points. And we have a drone which was filming that, the drone
from the top.
And after that, at night, we have mixed the map and the movie from the drone, and we have projected on the screen, and the people were seeing directly the pilots, 1 point, -1. And the idea comes from Looney Quest. So, all is connected.
Looney Quest is a very creative game. It's an amazing experience to play, and I totally recommend everyone to play it at least once. Because it's a very, very good game. Very nice. So now I want to know what are your plans for the near future? What can you tell us about the games from Roberto Fraga?
For the near future, we have 2 games. We have 1 game will be published in Japan.
Okay.
And another one in Argentina. And we have signed also a game. We will sign a game with Asmodee. He has a lot of chance to be published with the theme of kimbap, which is a kind of Korean roll mob, something you have to roll on some. And we have 2 games which will be published this year by Blue Orange, 2 children games. The first one is Uli and Polly, and the other one is I'm older, I don't remember the name of my games. It's incredible. Oh, it's okay. No. Okay. And the first one, Uli and Polly, is a game which was published by ABBA before, which name was Kalle Kallenratte. It was a bluff game for children, and it's in. I have told, as I have told to you, it's a new life with a new design for this game. So I am sure it will be better, a better second life than the first one. But the most important is we were speaking about video games extra at the beginning, but I am working from 1 year with a French startup which name is Wizama, and they have created a kind of platform, a video platform, which is as if it was maybe 4 iPads like that, with a giant screen. And the idea is to, with this platform, to sell games you can use on this platform. It's a mix between the classic board game and a video game, because all the elements you will use can be detected by the platform. The cards, the dice, the tokens, plus you have the sound, the board can change because you can do what you want. And the experience is incredible. So when I have met them, it was more than 1 year. With her, I like the new. I like to open new doors. Suddenly, I have seen all the possibilities to create new things, not only with cardboard and elements in plastic, but suddenly it was like a new universe. So, and I like that because I had a game about which was using a lighthouse, which the idea come during I was at sea during looking at a lighthouse. I got the idea to do a game where the board is revealed with a rotating beam like that. But it was, I have do a lot of samples in cardboard with an engine, electric engine, but it was a lot of equipment, expensive. It was too much. Suddenly, when I have seen the platform, all was possible because now we have do the game with them. There is a lighthouse in the center. You have, I think there is some pictures on the website on Fraga Games. The name is a Crystal Bay.
Crystal Bay.
Yes, and you have boats which are detected by the board, and all you want is possible. You want to have a tsunami on the board, okay, it's possible. Suddenly you have a tsunami. You want to have a volcano which just arrived from the bottom of the sea. So it's the result is totally amazing, and they have launched the video platform, which name is Square One. They have launched it in Kickstarter in November, and now they will produce games. The idea is to produce games for the platform.
This is the game, right?
Yes, you can see the rotating beam which discovers the bottom of the sea. So you have to memorize it, and after you have to move, but you can fall on rocks, on the sandbanks, etc. You can attack the adversaries. The objective is to collect gems. It's a family game on the bottom of the sea, and you play using cards, and you place the cards all around the board. You know, all around the screen there is a board which is specially designed to place on the video platform. The objective was to have a board to doesn't see the video platform, to look at it as if it was a board which was moving.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
It looks amazing.
Yes, but the cost of the video platform is 300 euros on 399 euros. And they sell it with 10 games. And the objectives is after to develop the games for the platform.
There are many right now there are we can see even on Kickstarter, and not only on Kickstarter, some companies are announcing some platforms like this.
Mm.
Do you think in the near future there will be one, only one, for, I'm not saying for every game, but for most of the games? Are we going the digital way also with board games or not? What do you think about this relationship between, I know you like experiences, so you like to work with plastic, wood, everything, but you
Mm.
also, because you like to try new things, you also like to work with the board like this,
No,
with a digital board. So
I
how
just
do you see the future happening?
I'm not afraid about that. Many people, when there is a new innovation, they are always thinking this innovation will totally destroy the other one, etc. But not at all. It's just a new way and a new possibility. And the future is the mix. It's to mix all these things. It's digital things. Why not 3D elements? There are a lot of technologies in the future which could be, maybe we could imagine, I don't know, a classic board game, and suddenly we have a small projector and you have the 3D figure which is moving on the board in front of you. Why not?
Yeah.
I think it's like in the music finally. Ah, wait a second.
No
Oh,
problem.
it's the end of the battery. It's okay?
Yeah, it's okay,
Uh,
perfect.
it's, it's, it's like in the music. What I like in the music is when you have all the influences, when you mix a lot of influences. So when you mix
Create something
music
new.
from, yes. So and then there are a lot of, musical elements in the world. It's not so in the game. It's the same thing. All these things they will have a lot of creations mixing the digital world, 3D elements, projection. For me, it's just the future will be very interesting for that. It's not there is no. I am not afraid for the future of the board games. I'm sure we are at the beginning of a fantastic adventure. And for the end, I will show to you a special prototype. Whoa, madre mia, which is this one. And as you can see, there is. You seen?
Yeah.
This is floating in the air. You seen?
Yes.
Because there is a very powerful magnet here on a smaller one here. And it's a children game where you have to place foam elements on the platform as if you was a magician like that. And you have to move with the dice system on the board without falling down. And when that fall down, you have to take it. So this is a conclusion is the same thing as for this one. It's very nice.
But
It's wonderful. But what's the cost to produce this kind of thing? So, but I will continue to show it year after year because I'm sure it's a very good idea.
it looks
It,
amazing. I mean, the idea looks really sharp, really nice, really smart, and the presence on the table is great. I mean, if you have this on the table, I'm sure
yes,
everyone will look.
yes. When I show it, the game has a lot of success, but a lot of success, a lot of public who like it, but you need to have the right editor at the right moment. So maybe it's not the right moment now, but I will continue and continue and continue. I have a game which name is Princess Jing. I was showing the game from 18 years.
I have never played it, but a friend of mine showed me the game 2 weeks ago on a live show that I have here on the channel,
Mm.
and it looks amazing.
It's a bluff game, very basic. There is a basic rule and another one which is more higher level, and but the artwork, which is from Nayad, a French illustrator, is totally poetic, amazing. It's the theme is very connected with the gameplay, which is very important also, because sometimes many games the theme is not totally. I like when the theme is perfectly connected with the gameplay, and that's the and the idea of this one was looking a video clip of Michael Jackson. Do you remember the time?
Yeah, nice.
Do you because it's in an Egyptian temple. So Michael is hiding behind columns to escape,
Yeah.
and that's the principle of the game. And I am seeing the battery is decreasing very. So, sorry.
Don't worry, we are finishing anyway. It
Mm.
it has been a very great pleasure to have you here,
Me
to
too.
hear all your thoughts, and the way the way you face games as new experiences, and the way you try to bring something new. And for those who haven't played many games by Roberto Fraga, there are so many. Look on BGG. There are so many and so many different ones. I can recommend you one that I like you a lot, that I like a lot, and it is Brain Connect, a puzzle game, really quick. When you need to make your hand puzzle faster than your opponents, it's very nice and very, very, very addicting. Roberto, once again, thanks again for being at the Curious Box. It was a
Muito obrigado, Pedro, and see you in Braga.
Yeah, I hope so. Very soon. Let's hope COVID goes so we can finally meet.
Sure, of course.
Thanks, guys, for being there. Thanks for staying with us for this very nice interview with Roberto Fraga. He's the designer of Brain Connect and Captain Sonar, Princess Jing, and so many others. If you like this video, you will not forget to subscribe the channel, to put a like, and to visit the Curious Box as many times you want. We'll be coming back with new videos in Portuguese and in English. And for now, I just hope you are well. Stay safe. I'll be seeing you, I hope, at a table close to you.